markups. So a discount, just for that verbal vocabulary, is a decrease in an original amount of an item. So a discount, where would we ever use a discount? That might be maybe at a store when they say you get 25% off the item, okay? Or maybe at a restaurant. Sometimes maybe they mess up on something on your bill or on your food, and they'll say, we're going to take 10% off of your price to compensate you. So a discount is where they're taking something off or taking a part of that off. A markup is what you use to make a profit. So for example, stores, when they buy something, they mark up how much they're going to pay that for so that they're making a profit. They'll pay a certain amount for the product, and then they mark it up so much so that they can make a profit. A markup is going to be an increase from what the store pays to the selling price, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and work with some of these, some real world scenarios. It says the original price of the shorts is $35. What is the sale price? So we're going to have to use our picture here. So there are a couple different methods, and you have to decide what method you are comfortable with. So you could go through the process of drawing a diagram like the book did for us yesterday. I would recommend, if you do that, to split your diagram into things that are easy. So maybe here, if you knew 25% was a fourth, you could split into 4, or you could split it all the way down into tens also. Okay, so it says find the percent of the original price, then subtract that price from the original cost. So you could go through and actually find 25% of $35, and you could subtract that off. The other method that you could use is you could go through and do like we did yesterday. And that was, well, when it's a percentage off, okay, that would be a discount or a decrease. Okay, so we could go through and take 25% off of our original price, which would be 75%. So we could figure out 75%, 0.75, of times $35. Okay, because we're just trying to figure out how much we're going to have to pay. We know they're $35 on the tag. We know they're 25% off. Okay, so 0.75. And I know some of you will work it differently, and you'll say, well, I know 25% is a fourth of it, and so you'll go through and do it another method. But I'm going to go ahead and do 0.75 times 35. And when I do that, I get $62. Oh my goodness. I mean, not 62. 26, a little dyslexia there, $26.25. So that's how much we're going to pay. Okay. Another method that you could use, and this is once again, oh, that's kind of what I did. I guess the original one was asking us to subtract off. So like we might find 25% of 35, so 0.25 times 35. And that gave us $8.75, and then we would subtract that off. Okay, and when we do that, it's still going to give us the $26.25. I guess I was thinking the other method that I was meant to discuss with you was also to set it up as proportions. But once again, you have to understand that when you go to set it up as a proportion, you want to use what the new percentage is. So my other method is I could have said, okay, I'm going to pay 75%. So 75% over inferred 100. Okay, so this is the sale price, and this is the original. Okay, and my information here, $35 was the original. And then I'll cross multiply, divide. And when I do that, I still get $26.25. You have to decide for you what you're most comfortable with. The key thing is understanding that when you're doing an increase or a decrease, you're adding or subtracting at some point. I like to add and subtract from the percentage just because usually it's easier math than working off of, like I did here in this situation, having to work off of subtracting a different number, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and try another one. All right, the original price of an MP3 player was $79. What is the sale price of this MP3 player? So we got 15% off, so that would be a decrease. Okay, a discount. So my new percentage then would be if I took 100 minus my 15%, that's going to give me what, 85%. So I'm going to pay 85%. Okay, so one method, I could do 0.85 of times $79. The other method, I could go ahead and set it up as proportion, 85% over my original. Remember, this is going to be your sale or selling price. This is the original. 100% is the original. And my original price of the MP3 player was $79. So now if I go through and I use either of these, I should get the same answer. So 79, and I'm just going to punch it in as 85. I'm going to do this one first. I'm not going to punch it in as 0.85. I can if I want to, but then I have to remember that 100%, I also have to punch in as its decimal form of 1. So I'm just going to leave it as times 85 and then divide it by 100. Because I'm working with percentages in two different situations, they'll cancel each other out. So 67.15. Okay, I should get the same thing if I go through and do this method of 0.85 times 79. It's still going to give me the same thing because this is the decimal form of 0.85. So 67.15. So we're going to pay $67.15. Okay, so I want you guys to try this one. Okay, so it says the original price of a skateboard is $50. The sales price includes a 20% discount, decrease. Okay, so that's our decrease. Okay, what is the sale price? So go ahead, pause your video, work your way through this one. You can either use the formula of finding the new percentage and then taking that times the original. You can set it up as a proportion. Just remember, if you choose to do a proportion, it's going to be your sale price over your original. Okay? Go ahead, pause your video and work your way through this one. When you worked through this, you should have gotten $40. Okay, so that's how much you're going to pay for that skateboard. Okay, so that's working with discounts when you get